Top of Hull's just different. It's people always said in Craigan, you could leave your door open, people could come in. It's the same up here.
Top of the Hull was always a very tight-knit community.
Top of the Hull, the Bees are a real class community. They all gel with each other, especially when it comes to sports and stuff.
The thing about Top of Hull is the community. They're all football mad.
Growing up, we were playing on the front square and over on the some break-ins, and down on the Clondermott School playing matches, and one street against the other street.
In terms of the team itself, it's probably what the community was built around, or it was massive on it then growing up.
In 1979, myself and Willie Smith, and I think Kevin Webb was also there too, went to do a work sort of scheme in Maydown Training Centre. Part of that was that you were all issued a set of overalls and a pair of steel boots, steel toe cap boots. Every lunchtime we would play football. Out of that, Willie had the idea of setting up a football team.
Willie Smith was starting up the team. Winkle, we called him just Willie Smith. I didn't know who was the team.
He was top of Hull through and through. In the worst of days, quite often he was taking all the rigs home to wash himself, or his wife Ratty was doing that. But he'd have been running around making sure players are right. Phone calls. This is back in the day, really, where it wasn't that easy to get people out and involved.
Because it was Willie that was organising the team, that was no surprise that Celtic would come on summer, so that's why he got his name, Top of the Hull Celtic.
Winkle loved his football, like he was a gentleman, like Willie was like.
This area was always short of development, and sort of the cheapest thing that anybody could play was football. Maybe a ball was in them days less than £1. Some of us would have got the ball, and then we went down to the likes of the playing fields down here, actually at Clondermott School. We literally used to go down that and play maybe 4 or 5 hours. The only thing that broke it up was getting coffee or tea.
Football was a release, especially for young people. You're growing up at the height of troubles. Football then became the focus of your week, especially on Sunday. Going to D&D match was probably more or less the highlight of the week.
But Clifton Villa came on the scene in 1982. And there was a big rivalry then between Top of Hull and Clifton Villa, and they were all local. They had to get one for us, or we had to get one for them, like, know what I mean? As the years went on, Villa stayed on the Saturday morning, and Top of Hull was Sunday, and that was a big thing. You either play with Villa in the morning, or you play with Top of Hull on a Sunday.
When I first played, it was with Clifton Villa, which was a Top of the Hull team. I mind having a derby match down in Lisnagelvin 4, and they must have been 400 or 500 at it. Now, this was a Sunday morning. I was playing with Clifton Villa against Top of the Hull. Clifton Villa beat Top of the Hull 4-0, and the crowd at it was unreal, and the rivalry was unbelievable. But once we walked off that field, it was just your pals. The following year, Villa folded, and we all signed with Top of the Hull, and the rest was history. From, I reckon, around 99, we all signed and went on, and had a really, really good run of winning trophies.
We had the cream of the players on Top of the Hill then that we didn't have on our own, if you know what I mean. It was a big significant boost to the team, so it was. And thank God, the LM guys, they gave us some glory down the years, some memories.
With only men's football in the community throughout the early 90s, there was no youth football. Young people were crying out for something they could call their own.
I first started out being a youth leader in a community centre in Gammaskeel, and we discovered that there was no football facilities on it, and the kids wanted to play football all the time. So the community centre wasn't ensuring the young boys to play football. So then Bregan School gave us the use of a couple of porta cabins and the use of a football pitch. So we moved over to the porta cabins. We were then called Gammaskeel After Schools Project, which was called GASP in short. And that's where we decided, myself, Keith Ratty, Moisey Gallagher and Daisy O'Donnell, they decided they formed a couple of youth teams.
The young people of Top of the Hull now had a space to grow their game. After a few years, the time had come for a changing of the guard.
So I was 19 and I was helping Michael Mousey Gallagher run the team. Mousey
then decided he was going to leave, which left myself kind of halfway through a season to take on the team, which was an under-17 team. So the boys, I was running around with the boys. They were 2 years younger than me. So we seen out the end of the season with a few league matches, and then we went to a cup final in the Brandywell where unfortunately we were beat with Ashfield 1-0. So from then on, that's where my involvement with the club started.
We were joined when it was GASP. It was a Common Scale After Schools project. Wally Smith was on the men's team, and we asked to be affiliated with them then.
They had different names for years. It was Clough and Villa Youths, it was GASP, which was a Common Scale After School project, all that. They decided then, we're going to use the top of the hill name now for all the youth teams coming through.
With a successful men's team and a thriving youth setup, Top of the Hill Celtic continued to grow from strength to strength into the early 2000s.
But it wasn't really until the early 2000s where myself, Keith, Ratty sort of got more involved in the running of the club and trying to structure the club. So myself as a youth worker in the area, Keith was a community worker in the area. Keith and Dicey O'Donnell had got funding to open the new wee Whistle pitch, which is a wee AstroTurf pitch in the middle of the community, which the Waynes absolutely loved and became a football haven. Every day after school you had dozens upon dozens of Waynes playing on it. So at that stage we thought, right, how can we take this club from this and progress it? Oxy's forward thinking was phenomenal. He was always thinking 2 steps ahead of everybody else, and to be fair, without Oxy's input at that point, they probably wouldn't be the club we are today. He definitely set the foundations, and the likes of myself, and then he brought Paddy Logan.
Aye, Oxy and Eamon, they asked me, like I would have been kind of managing Clooney Rovers and then Clough and Villa, but I says, no, I'll want to get involved in the youth league. So I got involved, as I say, about 2002, 2003.
And then what we did do was, all right, we're going to try and structure it. So at that stage there was no mini soccer. So mini soccer is from year 5 up to 10s. So we were starting at 10 years of age. And what our ambition was to have ages from 10 up to 17. So slowly but surely every year we added another team to the D&D. You know, we wanted to be Oxford, we wanted to be Trojans, we wanted to be Don Boscos, but we were nowhere near that. But the day we are, you know, I mean, we're in the parallel with all them, but again, it was setting them foundations at the very start.
For us, like especially Oxley and Eamon, they were definitely mentors for us, big role models. It was kind of them going over and beyond for us, you know, giving up their own time and extra trips and planning things outside of school, and for us especially it was huge.
No, they were fantastic. Like they were a brilliant influence on me growing up. Actually, start with at the time I was doing quite well football, and I was going on a lot of trials and stuff, and Oxy would always organise that or contact the clubs, and he would be like the middleman there, sorta. And Eamon as well was really, really good. I always remember we won a cup. Eamon always had a 7-seater, so he always gathered up all the players, left, right and centre. Eamon had like a sunroof, and we were all hanging out of the sunroof, floating about there, so we were with a trophy up at the top of the roof. Like, I don't think he'd get away with that now, but at the time it was brilliant, but it was just a great memory. Like.
Keith Oxy Ratty would have been the main man to start, and would have been helping him, and tragically actually died in 2005.
When Oxley passed away, when we were roughly 15 or 16 in 2005, it was devastating, and you know, he's a big part of our lives growing up. And I even got a tattoo of him on my arm when I was 18, which tells you the mark that I left on my life especially.
Certainly he was a very proud Top of the Hill Celtic man. The crest's on his gravestone, and he was buried in his Top of the Hill Celtic top. So very, very much close to him, and you know, close to the family now, Top of the Hill Celtic, and always will be, you know.
And then, without even having to be asked, Big Eamon took on that role, which was huge. You know, Oxley had his finger on every pulse of the club, every age group. I actually don't know how he'd done it, because there was age groups from 5 to 17 that he would have been involved in. And then when he passed away, you know, Big Eamon stepped up. I think the older we get, and you get closer to the age Eamon was when he stepped up and took that role on, it's like, how did he even do that at that age? You know, 33, 34 was remarkable, and you know, he's a massive part of this community now as well.
It was all through him, and finances, no money. He would have looked after money, looked after payments, looked after everything. We would have given him a hand, but he was he'd done everything. He was a main man. Like Eamon would have been a youth worker, he would have been flipping the youth club, he would have been his job on here. He'd done everything, he had all the hats.
Now, I was managing at one age and helping somebody another, and somebody else was managing and helping this age. So everybody was working together. But it was about 8 of us took us to the next level. We used St Brecon School as our home for maybe over 20 years. We had great relationships with the principals and the caretakers, Wally Gillespie and Terence Delop, bent over backwards to help our club at that time. You know, we had a silly wee pitch. You know, where we're sitting now was our hub for years until unfortunately the school closed down a number of years ago, which meant we were homeless for a number of years. But the forward thinking was already in place with the likes of Geraldine O'Donnell and Mark O'Doherty and a few others in the community that we're going to get this Waterside Shared Village project up and running, and that'll become your home. Back in the day, we had St Brecon School, which this is now all built. Down this hand side would have actually been the school. This would have been the sporting pitches and Gaelic pitches and stuff like that. But as you can see across here now, the building over here, this is the new Waterside Shared Village. So we haven't moved that far for our new home. And that's where we are now. We have a home over there. Now, it's still not big enough for what we need. We don't get the hours that we deserve probably, but we now have a focus and a home back on the Top of Hill area.
With youth football firmly established and growing in the Top of the Hill community, and senior men's football all united under the one club, Top of the Hill Celtic was set up for nothing but success.
Sean and me often remarked this here, and like it was fair to say Top of the Hill wasn't a pub team. Take nothing away from any other teams, but they were more dedicated than that, you know.
Like the senior team has won a lot of trophies around the city for years. They're one of the major, I would say they're one of the major junior football clubs.
From the late 1990s and the early 2000s, the men's team was managed by Kieran McLaughlin, ably assisted by Jerry McLaughlin. The brothers had a strong backroom presence in the club for many years, completing the vital tasks such as organising pitch permits, washing rigs and attending meetings. At the time, the team were in the 2nd Division, where they went on to win the Bishop's Cup before promotion to the 1st Division. After a few years of management under Kieran, or Poundies as he's more affectionately known, a successful summer season culminated in the team winning the Pat Harkin Cup. This was the first time the club won the prestigious tournament, though it would not be the last.
In 2005, Niall McLaughlin and myself was asked to take over as manager, like, and I couldn't have been prouder, like, you know, and me and Niall were at school together too, you know, so there was no better pairing, like, you know, and we took over at that stage and we had unprecedented success, like, you know, it was fantastic years. We won about 9 trophies, like, you know, the pinnacle being the Pat Harkin Summer Cup, like, you know, won that in 2011. And the year we won that, it was 11 local lads, you know, so it was, which was even better because teams have been known to bring in Irish League players and such, like, but we won it by 11 guys out of the area, like, you know, so we did, which was made us immensely proud, like, you know.
Some of the teams that you were involved in under Scoo and Nigsy, you know, all brilliant players, but all best friends. That's some mixture for a team, isn't it? And they were hard to beat. Every week they were hard to beat, which is why they won everything going.
I've actually skipped through a few videos recently where we were walking across a bridge, cup in hand, the whole race. If we had been playing maybe Abercorn in a final, we would have called in. There'd be no badness, no malice, we would have called in, bit of crack. If it had been maybe too far out of the way, we might have made a phone call for a bit of crack, but it was all in good heart, you know what I mean?
Take away the football side of things. Probably my overriding memory, and you'll agree with this as well, is the people, just the crack, unbelievable bunch of fellas that you were going out to play football with or involved in squads with. The spirit, the brilliant people, the tight-knit community, and I would say if you asked anyone around the town, what's your first thought when you mentioned Top of Hill Celtic, they would say spirit, and they all stood up for one another through thick and thin.
The club grew from strength to strength, recruiting some young potential that would go on to have great footballing careers to this day.
I had some of the best times of my life at Top of Hill Celtic. I even came back and done some coaching with the summer camps and stuff in the past, and I couldn't speak highly enough of the club and everybody who volunteers their time here.
No, it definitely puts you in good stead, Top of Hull, but not also as a footballer. Like I think as people and they grow on their man as well. Like I think it starts young, and they implemented for us how they act and how they be.
I played for Top of Hull until I was 13. I started when I was around 5 or 6 and played right up until I left then. I think it was around 2012 or 2013. So great memories of the club, and thankful for everyone that helped me in my journey.
Well, growing up as a kid, like playing for Top of Hull meant everything to me. Like it was, it's been massive for me. Like growing up, and it's given me the opportunity to have a career I've had playing in England. Now I play for TNS and stuff, and without Top of Hull, I wouldn't be given them opportunities or even being able to live the life that I wanted to live.
Top of Hill Celtic is a club that's produced successful players over the years, but that's not the be all and end all for the club. Their ethos is all about giving any child from across the city a place they come and feel a part of something. They give them a footballing home.
It's great that this football club, Top of Hill Celtic, is the hub of the community for the youth. It's not all about winning here. It's about participating and involving the youth in the community.
Not every young person is going to become a footballer. And if you count the many young people from Derry that have ever made it as professional footballers, it doesn't always work. But what you're trying to instill is it's not about the winning, it's about being there with your friends, taking part, enjoying their time.
I guarantee I speak to at least one person every day that I've played football for Top of Hull with. Most of my closest friends have played for Top of Hull at some point in their life, and even with coaches as well. Like there was a post recently about my teams, like how we've finished up for youth age, and I just wrote thank you, about the other coaches, and every single coach that I had replied to it. That just shows you the community.
You get a bit of enjoyment seeing the kids smiling, enjoying, winning trophies, winning leagues, it's scoring goals. That's what it's about. That's the enjoyment you get. That's a love. That's a passion that you want from the football.
It's all about being how they turn out as adults. Football's a big part of it, not the be all and end all. That way. We have a big number of girls started there as well. And we have 2 teams at nearly every age group.
My name is Nyla. I play for Top of Hill Celtic under 10s. I love coming to see my friends at Top of Hill Celtic, especially at training. My name's Ava and I've played for Top of Hill Celtic for 2 years now. I love playing football with my friends and passing the ball.
I love Top of Hill Celtic because I get to be with my friends.
Yes. We all played in an all-girls team. Top of Hill Celtic is the best team.
And it's just great to see so many girls out playing football in a sport that they love and enjoy. I would encourage them to definitely send their child to the club. As I say, it's a great social aspect. It gets them meeting new friends, gets them out of the house, and it just really makes them belong to a close-knit community. And it's probably one of the best things that I've ever done, or letting her join football.
Top of Hill Celtic is an inclusive, all-ability club that welcomes everyone. We have a bright future ahead. They'll only keep going from strength to strength.
Like to see the men's team progress and get back on the books as well. And I think that's the main aim as well too, to get that going.
I would love to see a senior team compete in the Irish League. It's brilliant having a senior club in the intermediate or something, but there's no reason why a club like this can't be competing in the Irish League and at a semi-pro or professional level.
Top of Hull want their own home pitch. There's plans for a major development within the area, and Top of Hull want to be part of it.
Next thing is we want to go and get our own pitch, and as I say, we have spoke with the council on that there, and we have plans, and we've earmarked an area, and hopefully that'll see fruition pretty soon.
If you do have your own facilities, that just really builds in the club and builds in the whole community aspect, because you can have everybody involved. Parents can be helping out if you're having lunches or teas or fundraisers and stuff. So I think going forward that would definitely be something, because the community is only getting wider over in the Top of Hull.
Having a base would be amazing. You look at other clubs like Trojans and Ballymore, they have these things, whereas Top of Hull maybe don't, but 1000% they need something like that.
Hopefully we just get bigger and we can keep on going and keeping the same standards up, that way.
I want the club to push on and do big things, and for the future I just want to see them grow bigger and better and just push on.
It's an amazing club. It full the local lads from the community, and they just want the best for everyone in the community, and long may it continue.
Eamon McLaughlin to me is top of the Hill Celtic. Eamon was organiser, washes the kit, gets the football, gets the training gear, gets everything together, and he's an unbelievable person in this area.
I always think about Eamon if I can see further than you, and it's because I'm standing on the shoulder of giants, and that for me would apply to him. This club exists simply because of people like Eamon.
Eamon McLaughlin was a pillar to this community. What that man done for the community is second to none. I think he bleeds green. He's top of the Hill through and through the whole time. He just generally is.
See, growing up community-wise, he was a leader in the club. He would have been mixed in with top of Hill. He would have went all the trips away. I would say he's probably had a big impact on most of the youth that's grew up through top of Hill, which is a lot of people like.
I don't know, through the years, how many children, young lads he's helped, not even football, I would say, just through their own lives, personal things we've been through out there through the years. He's been there for anyone.
Eamon then was a boy you could go and have that chat, they knock on his door or whatever. They put their arm around you, tell you what you need to do, just always open and honest. More so off the pitch, he taught you how to be a good fella as well as a player.
I only know him 10, 11 years, and I could turn around and say he's probably one of my best friends. He just made me feel so welcome, and you can understand where everybody has come now and said thank you to him, because he's been a massive person to the community.
If there's any problems or anything that anybody needed, Eamon's the man would have been the man they call, and he would always help out in any way he can.
Arnie done absolutely everything. He was a glue that held everything together, and when I was there, he was instrumental in what I'd done, and he played a big part in all our footballing journeys.
Eamon's like another father figure for me growing up. He was so influential, and I just wanted to do him proud. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be half the man I am today, or had half the career I had today, so I'm forever grateful.
Eamon's passion and dedication and his commitment, voluntary to top of Hill Celtic, it couldn't be measured. It's immense. In fairness to Arnie, it's fair play to him, is all I could say. He is top of Hill.
Eamon's the linchpin that has kept the club going. He's done so much for the children in this community, and not just the children, adults as well within the community. Without Eamon McLaughlin, there would be no top of Hill Celtic.